Hello everyone, and welcome back to another live stream here on the twitch.tv slash the Xisuma. Gonna do some Redstone today, live on camera. Oh my god. How could he? How could he do such a thing? Why is there like a random note over here? I don't know. Gonna use this space for the project today. Blooming, Decana Heaven, Cloudy Zeros in chat. Welcome, welcome peeps. There used to be like a vague color coding system here. I don't know what it is anymore. I don't know what the color coding system is. I'm just gonna use blue again. I've basically forgotten. Nervous Wreck, welcome to the stream. Hope you're not actually a nervous wreck. Jeez. That doesn't sound good. I'm probably gonna use like a lot of space, but maybe not this much space. Hey, actually, what I'll do for now, I'll rather than defining the whole area, I'll just define a little bit of it. That's how I stay organized. And I'll start building in this space, and I'll finish all of that later on. Yo, Billman68, 109 months. Welcome, my dude. Good to see you again. Thank you for your continued support. Why are you here at 5:30 in the morning? You have homework. Do your homework then. Do your homework then. So I had time to think a fair bit about this idea that I had for a beat sequencer. And I think I can push it a fair way. I think I can push this idea a fair way. We're going to kind of borrow a lot of this right here, actually. To the point where I could probably copy and paste some of this. I'm going to need a larger decoder. So this is like a 6 or a 7. I need like a full 16 signal decoder. I've built one. Where have I built one? There's so many contraptions over here. This looks like one. I got a feeling this one doesn't have the timing done correctly. Yeah, because when you go in that direction. Yeah, that's not... It has to be balanced, which I haven't done. I'm sure I built one that's balanced properly. Tiger Hunter, thank you so much for the Prime subscription. Thanks for supporting the channel. Welcome to the stream. Blooming says, extra Lego works out perfectly for my base. It's the most I've built in 2 weeks. Alright, you've been doing the same thing, using the Lego images as reference. That's cool. Netherin, thank you for 2 months for the Prime. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, didn't this... I thought this one had a decoder. No, this one doesn't have a decoder. This one does. This is this 16? No, this isn't 16. I'll have to make one then. I thought I built one for 16. Okay. So technically it's actually 15. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is this it? That's it, right? No. Or is it? I think this is. It just doesn't have the torches on it. Because it's got all this extra like signal delay. Yeah, this is it right here. Slightly modified, possibly. I think I know the concept pretty well, so I'll start again, but use this as our reference to begin with. Does that have all of it attached except the torches? So we'll grab those. Let's go move it to our plot. Milan Killer says, it said one viewer, you were so confused. That's you! You're the one viewer. I mean, you know you're here, right? If it said 0, that would be confusing. Yo, Elias Spezzy, thank you for 8 months. Welcome to the stream. Slytro's here for 79. Oh, we got some gifted subs coming in from On the Fritz. Thank you for gifting the subs, my dude. Peeps, check back in chat, see if you got gifted one. Of course, say thanks if you were. Appreciate you doing that, my dude. I got a little bit of morning voice, by the way. Is this what you showed to Mumbo? No, I haven't built this yet. I'm building a new contraption. It was when I was hanging out with Mumbo that I got the idea for it, though. Good stuff. The hands are very cold. I got a nice cup of tea. Let's check something with this, right? When we go set it to signal strength 1. Oh yeah, it's actually balanced for that. Okay. I kind of know we need to get our signal to come in from around here somewhere. And then go in different directions. So if we start roughly at the middle. I'm so sure I've done this before. I've got this, like, vivid memory now of it. Kind of wish I hadn't broken all of that so quick. What way was this facing if the torch was there? Was that a slurp of tea? Yes, it was. I was slurping the tea. Yeah, it's going in that way. It's pulling a slightly degraded signal in from the source. So I guess you want to have like 1, 2, then that thing kind of here. So you need a bit more space further back, which is familiar. Like I said, I'm sure I've built this somewhere, but I guess we're building it again. So now we put in our torch. And then we got to get this back round to the start. We'll probably do that. So if we have signal strength 1 over here. Yes, please. Thank you very much. Can we get that on top? Nice. Right, so signal strength 1. How did that play out? We actually want the 1 to go to the left-hand side. That's got to arrive over here somewhere with the equal amount of delay, I guess. So you got that there. And then you got, so that's 2 comparators of delay so far. Does that work like that? It does. It does. Like 3 comparators of delay. Can't that be a little bit better somehow? So now we've got signal strength 1 on that side. So then we have 1. Then we need like 2, 3 for the 15 to reach to there. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think it needs 1 less. But let me check something. Let me check something really important. I'm gonna have to move the lectern back. Put a block there. Okay, now when it's not a block. Oh, I'm not sure what that means, but let's just stick with this for a second, because I said when that's set to 1, we need this to be back by 1. Or is it a case of actually that should be pointing into it? Wait, that should be on subtract mode. You know what? I think for what I want to make, I might actually need to modify this a little bit somehow. Yeah, in a strange way. In a strange way for sure. Does that work if it points in at an angle? It does. So that highlights the second one. That's interesting. So then that highlights the first one. Okay. I would actually not have a redstone torch there for the purpose that I want to use this thing for. Then we do the next one. Right, but that didn't change the signal strength, did it? This one has an extra page in it, I've just noticed. Okay. Let's go all the way up to 16. And now we're like one over there. Is that because we're supposed to have one here? Yeah, I think we built it. It feels a little dodgy. Wolfhouse asks what I'm making. I'm making a beat sequencer, but it's like many steps. Many steps in. Ember Dragon says, what is this magical contraption? It's a signal strength decoder. Right, so the next thing I need to test is really annoying and awkward because the input is on the opposite side. Not sure if I can shimmy something. Nah, probably can't shimmy something together to test it from this side. Maybe if I use the middle area and put some torches here and we come back and we're like, we want to just basically see them on the side of the screen. That looks good. Perfect. Okay, so I balanced the comparators. That's nice. In terms of optimization, there might be a little wiggle room here. Like, if you're not going to have that one on, you can bring all of this back so you can move that over by one. I'm not sure if I really want to do this too much right now. It certainly looks like it could be optimized to run a little faster. I'll leave a note for future self because I'd rather get much further along before I start spending time on like optimization and stuff. So reduce amount of comparators, question mark, bang. I used the purple wall to leave little notes for myself. Okay, right, so input is going to come from lecterns, which are properly done, so it's 1 out of 15. Also, I have a mod for this, but now I understand why it's not working, is because we weren't actually looking at the interface where you'd see that. You see it now. Anyway, we go all the way up to page 15. And then just put a dot there and be like, done. Okay, so now that's correctly configured. Leon Eats You, thank you so much for 21 months. Hey, X, got a joke for you. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. I've definitely heard that one before. Thank you for 21 months, my dude. It's actually not too often we get a dad joke come through that I've heard before. Usually they're pretty original, but I know I've heard that one here before. Okay. Right, so build the decoder. The input is going to come from lecterns to this location. Sometimes the lectern will be empty, which is why we have this non-signal here, okay? What this is going to represent is actually 4 digits of binary is how I think we should think about this, because binary actually shares something with the nature of the music we're doing here, which is it's on or off. You either hit the snare drum or you don't. So this is going to represent the 16 combinations that come from 4 digits of binary, which are the same as a score, right? So wait, let's do this with bulbs. Bulbs is probably a good way to show you what I'm talking about. So you got 4 notes on your score that are going to be played, right? There's only 16 combinations. They're all off. They're all on. And then all those other ones in between, like that. Like this. All right. Like that. we're going to program all of those because the input, which is the lectern, this if there's no book, we're saying zeros, and then if there is a page on the book that's been configured, we're saying this is what the beat should be. Now, I think we can also put that information into the book. And oh wait, I took the wrong one. I don't have like a tool for bringing in large fonts like we've done on the signs into the book, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find something. Hand of Clay, thank you for 7 months. You hope I have a lovely Sunday. Thank you, my dude. Appreciate it. I hope you have a great one too. What we might be able to do is a little bit of copy and paste. So like, because we're doing binary, let's say we do 1s and 0s. If I copy, I can't actually copy that. Nah, there's no way to copy it. Dang. Unless I go like back to vanilla and then I can just copy the one line. I mean, it could be a bit tedious, but I might be able to get something like that in here, right? Another way is to use emojis. It does seem to have a single note. There's not an emoji for a single note. I've got this. Oh, that appears as a single one here. Okay, that's cool. And then, what about a blank? Or a bar? Or a dash? I mean, I guess maybe I just use a regular keyboard symbol for that. Okay, so like... So this is page 1, by the way. Each page would have a different one on it. So you could do... Right? There's going to be 16 combinations of this. As I said, no book would basically be all blank. So no note gets played, going from left to right. One of these is on each of the pages, right? We're not configuring it all now. We're just sort of laying the premise down. So it's like page 1, or sorry, whatever one you got it set to, it's like it plays a note, it misses a note. There's this weird left and right thing with the emoji where like pressing left and right doesn't work like normal. So plays the note, plays doesn't play a note, plays a note, plays a note. Who's with me? Who's with me so far, chat? Let's actually save that for now. Blooming's with us. Good, good, good. Good, I want y'all to be able to follow along. Callie's on it. That's good. Night Daz is nodding, and Sergio says kind of. So if you're not following along and you're falling down somewhere, let me know so I can explain, right? You're not sure you follow a bit of Redstone. You got to give me a bit more of a clue as to like where you're not getting it, and then I can try and explain it a little better. Okay, interface will look like this, except it'll be lecterns. We will send signal strengths from the lecterns through comparators to the decoder. The decoder will then, you know, you got 1 to 16 here, right? It then has to extrapolate the information from the lectern, which we were going to display to the user of this contraption like so. WF Kiwi, thank you so much for gifting some subs. Jerichos, run. Right, do you know what? Just come back. I want to stay in the zone today. WF Kiwi, I appreciate your gifted subs. And peeps, come back to the chat and check if you got one to say thanks if you did. I'm following. I don't really understand, but that's a me not knowing Redstone issue. All right, well, you know, conceptually, let's not focus too much on the Redstone. It's about your interface is a lectern. You choose what page you're setting it to. Those pages are going to tell you what sequence of notes will be played, right? With 4 notes in a row, there's 16 combinations. That's the same as binary. That's going to come into play in the next bit we do. So I built a contraption to decode the input. It's going to give us an output. Like if you don't know the Redstone, you can understand input to output, right? Okay. So, this next part I thought about a lot, and it's not quite clear in my mind, so it might take me a minute to like get back on track with it. When we receive one of these, we're going to receive it in sequence. So, one lectern after another is decoded. They will be timed. Oh, the timing might be a little tricky when they're side by side like this. I didn't think of that, but that's okay because we're gonna learn and think and do stuff. So if I come back and find out this bit is like a roadblock, that's okay. We'll cross that bridge later. Each one of these plays 4 notes at a time. Those notes are going to sort of play like left to right over here, I believe. And then we need to translate that information, I think probably using rails. So you're going to activate a rail like that. And this is important because you can do it side by side. And you may see we run into an issue with this idea as well, okay? That information then needs to travel this way, I think. Oh, no, wait, this is already feeling a bit funny. Did I miss something here? No, I didn't. Okay. When it travels upwards, this is like, you remember what I was saying about binary, okay? We'll probably lay out this part in its binary configuration. You're going to see the binary now in action. Let's go ahead and clone this. Oh, I wanted to stack it, actually. Becca, thank you for gifting a sub to Anti-Brint and Superior Bomb 347. Thank you for subscribing as well. Appreciate it. Okay, so you got like all of them on. Then let's have our different states where 3 of them are on, right? That should be pretty easy to see. We'll have one over here, one over there. So we've covered all 4 are on, 3 are on in the 3 different possible ways that you can. Or sorry, 4. Yeah, 4. Now we're going to go and say only 2 of them are on, right? And then we have to do all the different combinations that 2 could be on at one time. Which I've got to say, it feels like we're running out of space here, but we're not. Then it's like those 2. So yeah, right mid. Yeah, no, right middle left, spaced out like that. Then you would have that one, and that's all the combinations of 2. Then you have all the combinations of 1. Let's go ahead and stack this. Okay, so now we should have every configuration possible, right? Of 4 notes in a row, which means that we have condensed an input here from like 1 piece of information for the drum to 4. And I don't think you can do much more than that. Now, the next thing is that this information has to travel this way towards where we'll have the note blocks. So we're going to power those note blocks with observers, and they're going to observe which ones are getting powered like this. This is where I think we encounter a bit of a tricky thing. You'll see. Don't do that. So if I go ahead and set this thing to like 8, where's 8? Yeah, that's the one I wanted. So oh, it's one behind these though. So this one would only play 2 notes, right? It's funny because I had something in my head, right? I had something pop into my head a second ago, and I didn't understand why. And you will understand why now. because I'd already thought about this. It was just like, it was there lingering in my mind. And I was like, why would I do that? Now you're going to find out why I need to do that. Okay? Stupid brain. Can you hear that? We've added the delay because remember, these play in sequence. So we have all these combination of notes that can be played, and this is where we add the delay between them. Right. This would all be the same instrument, by the way. I can't remember if plank is a drum or not. There is. I do have like a little redstone tweak somewhere that tells you what the instruments are, but I can't remember where you see it. There it is. Bass. Bass. Let's go with the kick drum for now. All right, so now you hear that like sequence of notes in order, okay? And then everything behind it decodes that information. Yeah, y'all with me? Y'all with me? Ember Dragon says, I think I get it. You choose one of the rows using the lectern. You've got it. You've got it. Right. Remember, we built a decoder. So whatever page we're choosing on the lectern, that's going to have one of these lines. Hopefully we can make it bigger, visually appealing. Tells you where the notes are going to be played in sequence. That allows you to set up an interface where you get to define 4 blocks at a time, you know, going left to right. And therefore you can condense more information into the beat making aspect of the music, right? Anyway, so that's gonna get programmed. These signals are gonna make their way into this one by one, with 4 ticks of delay between each one, so that the result can play out. Now, where we encounter our next issue, I believe, might literally be here. I think I need like a redstone block. Yo, we got Complex here, 107 months. Good to see you on a weekend, my dude. And we're doing redstone. I know Complex knows redstone and music, so interesting to see what you think of this. There is a limit to how far power, and we've just found it. So now we have a problem, and we can kind of compensate for this problem. But it's hard to compensate for when you have a directly tiled side-by-side thing like this. So what we're going to do now is move our contraption. Oh yeah, I don't need that. We're going to move our contraption up a little bit because I'm going to need some more space. I think that's all of it. And then I'm probably going to need a little bit more space in some other directions. Okay, now it's over here. Right, we are going to attach something in front of the repeater. Sorry, the observer. It's a repeater, because I said the wrong word. That's going to go there. Therefore, when we move all of this, we want it to align with where the repeater is now, which I think is literally just one like that, right? That was kind of easy. Let's then move this into position, and then let's stack it all the way down the line here. Okay. Now, what we would normally do, and this is where I think this contraption might fall apart a little bit, is we need to add something right here. So I'm going to move all of that this way, 1 block, right? Didn't do the rails, that's fine. And you can see what's going on here, but it might not work, right? So we're adding a delay. It just passes it over. Brilliant. But that adds a delay between signals from here and signals from there. So this is why we added a repeater, because we compensate for the delay now. Okay? So the signal comes from here. It's 2 ticks. Then like 1 tick here and it plays. But over here, it's like 1 tick and 1 tick there, and then it plays. So that's how you get the 2, right? 2 ticks. Now it's 1 here and 1 there. That way, we can take signals from further back and move them forward. The obvious problem is now that we have like a gap here that we don't want. I'm confused. This seems overcomplicated. Why not just connect or disconnect a clock based on when a note should be played based on another clock? Interesting idea. How are you telling it when it should or shouldn't be played, and what has that got to do with clocks? This thing is ran by a clock in some sense. I actually tried to make something years ago, but instead of redstone decoders, I used shulker box unloaders where stackable, non-stackable items were in. Yeah, Cuplex, I've gone down that route, and the whole loader unloader precision level is like, it gives me a headache. You can encode way more information into them, but it gets to a point of fiddliness that I didn't like. Yeah, because I know what you're getting at. Like, you can use all sorts of information inside of a shulker box, but it's just that loader unloader thing. Like, every shulker box loader unloader system I've built has that edge of unreliability where like the hopper doesn't pick it up based on like where it randomly goes. So for that reason, I was like, I can see this just like randomly breaking and give me a headache, you know. Right, so this would work, except now you need that to go over there. And if you start including redstone, because everything's tiled, it'll get horrible quick. You also, I don't think you can really add something in the middle here to give you an extra gap. You can for like... No, you can't actually, because you need this thing to like work with redstone from both directions. So you can't like add a comparator here. Couldn't you mirror the note blocks? The first half would trigger the right note block and the second half the left one. That's a very interesting idea. So I think the answer is you can, but the problem is you kind of want your note blocks to actually all play from the same place. One of the things I was going to do here was put them closer together at some point, and then I would have to figure out like, okay, so I can put a block there, right? That one's okay. How do I get this one next? Well, what if I have my two like this, put one there, put a block on top of it? Like, do you see what I'm getting at here? I'm going to undo those changes though, for now. Like, I want all the note blocks to be in the same location. So if we split it up, they would be in different locations. And I think maybe you could go to the middle, right? Like this, and have it go upwards. And then power the block alongside the note block. Like, maybe that's a way to do it. That's an interesting idea. Then it would be about... Oh, yeah, then it... Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that might work. Unwoven Rainbow, thank you for 73 months. Appreciate you using the old Prime on me. Didn't you resub last stream? Could have saw you resub last stream. Thanks so much for the resub. If it's... Well, you can see here... If we go ahead and... Oh, my God. I basically, like, need to undo all of this. I mean, I'm glad I showed you all this, because in different situations what I've built here can be quite useful. It's good to know you can do that, right? Like, I did it back here. Yeah, you can see a similar system going on here, right? This is a clock. Pretty much the same thing we're doing over there, except our clock runs through a lectern, which is like the decoder. Wait, why is my block distance so dang far? Oh, it's because I'm selecting. I'm not actually... Okay. Okay, I see what's going on there. Right, so you can see how, like, where more information needed to be decoded, we needed the observers, and therefore, information that comes out of it here, 2 ticks. Information that comes out of there, 1, because you've added 1 for the observers. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one, even though X came to the same conclusion without reading the message. Yeah, there's... I can only read 1 message at a time, right? I imagine there's lots of suggestions. Yeah, I had not thought of that. That had really not crossed my mind until we started to mess around with the idea a bit more. Okay, so... Like, we've got 15. I think that makes this the middle. I'm just eyeballing it. That's a really cool solution, though, to just pull the signal from the middle. And then we've got the same thing we've got going on over there. This also... This is a solution that has another problem, I've just remembered, because... Part of the idea of this is that you would stack it on top of itself again, because you're going to have bass, snare, hi-hat. So you have an incentive to keep it level and compact and not use up vertical space, but also make it so the player will be near these note blocks, right? Doing this musical stuff in the game has like so many restrictions and boundaries and barriers and stuff. It can be a little bit frustrating. RS Mind, thank you ever so much for using the Amazon Prime subscription. Thank you for supporting the channel. A weird and not favorable alternative would be to somehow program 0 to not actually be 0. And then like 1 in the middle is 0, and then it gives you like a break in the redstone, but no. You can power a block on each observer and place the note blocks next to that block. I can power a block on each observer. Do you just mean like to the side? Like doing some form of this to keep it smaller? Because I can, but like it needs to be as compact as possible. And that's why you search for the solution that kind of fits that mold, I guess. Oh yeah, like we need the note block to be there so it can have an instrument defined. It can be powered from the side. The next one would then possibly pass through and be there. So we can make it like that tall, which is not too much taller than this. Any other ideas? Like, if you did put one like this in the middle, maybe there's like some sort of hacky way to take advantage of like the lack of these being used or something. I'm not so sure now. Oh, and another thing you can do is like you can also, the one at the end, you can do that, which means the power starts 1 block over, but that's only if you like happen to just need 1 more. It's like perfect for that. Chat, throw suggestions at me. Because we can move forward with this. It just kind of means the sound is going to end up being like spread out further away from the player. And then if we get it to come out the end here, remember, we can do stuff like the next one above or below can kind of maneuver the redstone towards the other note blocks. So we can end up with them spaced out something like this, which is about as compact as you can get them. Would it matter if you were observing from both sides? Not sure what you mean by that. Becca says, chat is being so helpful. I know, right? So if I'm to take a step back to where I was a moment ago, the problem with the repeater thing is that you need that space. This one didn't suffer that because these are all spread out, so that just fit in very nicely. The player will be standing at the lectern, right? Not essentially. They'll probably be standing like somewhere like here. Like why are the note blocks here where they are? So the player can stand here and be close to all of them at the same time. That's what we're trying to achieve again. It doesn't necessarily have to be where the lecterns is, but like when it comes to orienting all of the redstone, I can figure that out later. You're not quite sure what the encoding part does again. Well, which bit? This is the decoder. Is this the encoding? I mean, technically the information is encoded here. I'm not sure. I guess it's all getting a little confusing, the terminology. But, you know, we're choosing which one of these sequences gets activated in sequence. If you duplicated your readout on the left side, would it matter for some signal strength if both sides went off and for some didn't reach, only one side would activate? If we pick up the signal from over here, like the signal is now far away from where we need it to be. We kind of want things to go over to one end so that we can control the note blocks, you know, further down the line. What I said about doing something hacky a moment ago, it's like I think the way to think about it might be that you don't need those three there, right? So if that one note is on the opposite ends, could it pass on? Okay, wait, I think I'm starting to see it, and it's not actually here. It's like it's that one there, okay? So let's say the problem started here. Right, we've solved for it by doing that, but not for this one. Because it's on the end, you've got extra space here. So can that be taken advantage of? Actually, yeah, it can, because that can go there. And then you just want to get that over to here, right? Or maybe... almost. That almost sort of works, doesn't it? If that block's powered... Is that it? Does that work? Also, does it have to be on this edge? Because now it's vertical. Although, aren't I trying to avoid taking up vertical space? So, that's not the solution, but it just has to be non-vertical. So, we can put it there. And then it's just got to do that. I mean, it's really like all this elegant redstone, and then you got a little ugly thing like that in the middle, right? But that, in theory, works. And then all signals can continue traveling downwards. So it's about taking advantage of one that only sends one piece of information down, because you can just use the additional space on the side. So that... Yeah, that works. That actually works. I can't see many reasons why it wouldn't. If you use observers on the bottom, that already gives you your delay. On the bottom? Down here? So the node blocks can be powered by a single observer up top. If I use the... What are the observers on the bottom? If I use observers on the bottom, what are we talking about? Down here? Instead of the rails? Oh! Yeah, but then you're... Like, you're talking about doing this, but then, like... I mean, I guess you could, but it's like... do you want to use 4 observers or 4 powered rails each and every time? I get what you're saying though, because then you can have these like side by side perfectly. It feels a little bit excessive, but then again, you are using tons of powered rails, so maybe it's not excessive. And it also saves us a block of space below. That's nice. I think you might have convinced me. It's not the prettiest, but I don't know. I kind of like that, actually. So we do that. We get rid of all the blocks below, which saves us a bit of vertical space. So we'll take those out. This, I think, has to stay the same. There might be some sort of thing we can do there. Not sure. Let's get rid of this. And then this goes like so. That might also make it possible to put a block swapper here. Like, with more finagling. Right? Like, it's probably possible. Do the observers introduce delay? They do. They introduce a delay that we actually want, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so now what we have to do is basically get rid of that for a second and swap it out with the one in the middle. So this configuration will go back here. And that configuration will go over there. All of that gets covered in rails. This gets covered in observers. That one means that would power that. So this one is now out of the loop. And then it's back in the loop. Like that. Which is weird, but it'll work. And it adds a little thing off the side, which looks kind of ugly, but whatever. We don't need the extra space next to it. So, the first one sounded a bit off. So next we should hear... Oh, no! Boo. It's playing when it deactivates the torch. Oh. Oh. I knew that sounded funky. Okay, let's think about what state do we have here. We want some sort of like falling edge detector, but like, or rising, but like we want it to be a like one block simple solution here. We can't have it be something else. We can't use like repeaters. It's, oh my god, that's annoying. Copper lanterns? Oh my god. Chat is genius today. Yeah, that would totally work. And it doesn't really matter what state it's in. So if they get like out of whack, who cares? Who in the hell cares? That's the best use for copper bulbs I've seen in a while. Not that they don't have great uses, just that like every now and then you find a use case for it and it's lovely. Can you hear it doing its thing? Because we're sort of hearing them in isolation rather than part of the beat, it doesn't sound like it's quite doing the right thing, but it is. Like if you play this one or that one, it'll sound the same because I'm taking my time to turn the page. But if this was on sequence, you would like hear the gap. So if there were other instruments firing at the same time, you would hear it. Okay, that is they're starting to look like a thing of beauty, right? With exception to that, that's ugly. But there you go. All right. Maybe you even like put the redstone wire directly on top of the bulb, although then you'd need to like add some slabs and Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I need too much compacting at that point. Okay, so right. What have we done? We've done everything. Except the input. I haven't done like the input thing, but this can be stacked now. Okay, we can stack this. The next one would appear like technically maybe you could have it as high as that. Well, you'd probably just have a gap for the sake of having a gap. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe you don't need a gap. Should we just stack it and find out? Like, sometimes I forget I've got these tools to make life easy. You know? Life's hard as a redstoner. Copy and paste in all those blocks. Right, so if I do that... That, to me, you know, if you put a block there, it's going to power what's below it. But there isn't a block there. That, to me, looks actually like it stacks. Wow, it does. Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, I don't think... Yeah, there's not really a way to make it any more compact than that, I think. Okay. Right, now we got two instruments. You see? Let's put in our hi-hat here. Alright, so the player will stand somewhere around here, and now it will receive all of the sounds. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. You still want to torch for the copper lamps, though, so it changes state when selecting the row instead of unselecting it. That is a good point. That is... Wait, 1 second. 1 second. So, like... I'm not sure that's a good test, because I'm doing that live. If it changes, like... It'll change in an instant, so... If this one's off, then it'll be that one there that's off, right? That'll turn on. The other one will turn off. Wouldn't it be the turning on that activates it? So when I was doing that test a moment ago, maybe I wasn't really testing the right thing. I wasn't testing the value of this being activated. I was testing the value of it being unactivated. So if we add in if we add in torches, this is like one of those bugs that I might have not discovered until like I'm really deep in, and then you're like, why is it not quite doing what it's supposed to do? Like you start to realize that the beat that you programmed, it's not playing it. It's sort of playing it off or something. So now when we activate the book, yes. Right? It's when something turns on that it changes it. Brilliant. Great observation, Callie. I could totally picture myself tearing my hair out further down the line. And I'm like, it's playing everything, but 1 bar later. Why? Why? You know? Oh, by the way, I missed a noise in the ear. RS Mind, thank you for your Prime subscription. Appreciate it, my dude. Also, I've just noticed I've drunk half my cup of tea. I'm definitely making another one today. You can't wait for the purple music disc. I'm glad I had the opportunity to drum up a little bit of excitement because all of that stuff's done. Also, I said I'd release the episode on Tuesday. I'm now thinking I might just release it tomorrow. You know? Oh, wait. It's the red dot on the bulb that's important, which is changing for 2 anytime you switch the page. I think I know what you're saying, actually. Will this update twice? Wait. So let's say we change from that one to that one. This one turns off. Oh, no. Wait, but then again, why? Oh, though, because it's not powered. You might have to place comparator between the lamp and observer. Yeah. There's another solution. There's another solution. All of this, like, adding redstone, though, it's taking place... Wait, what just happened? It's taking place within like a space that we can afford to move into. Like, we can continue doing this, right? Like, we're not hamstringed for space here. Now I'm starting to think that I would like to compact a little bit, like put that there, but then that's going to get bub powered, because now we start to use space below, which is sort of in the stack below it, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. It's just like technically now we've got a little bit of overlapping space. Okay, let's try it with this. I wonder if this means we could actually go back to having the wire directly next to it now. Like, we might not need the torches again, but let's experiment. So, if it turns on, it updates. That is the edge case that we're looking for. Only when it turns on, right? So when it turns off, nothing gets activated. So that's good. But if we go back to having the bulbs here, and the state of the redstone like changes, like that turns off. The bulb updated, but the comparator wouldn't. I think, doesn't it flip? No, because like it can be powered and just go to a lower state of power. So if this one all of a sudden like is powered and now it goes off, when it goes off, that's when we need the reaction from the bulb, and we wouldn't get one. We would through an observer, but we'd be dealing with the red dot problem. We wouldn't get one through the comparator. So that is actually, I think, the best way to do it. Okay, we could go ahead and like attach this to that, but I have a feeling it'll give us a headache because of the clock that it's running through. Maybe we start there and just see what happens, you know? Circuit de Celestia. I am very sure I butchered your name, but thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and clone this. How much of it I want to clone? Like, not all at once, basically. Not all at once. Do things in stages. Okay, let's bring it over here. Like the output is gonna be like in line, as you can see. It's gonna end up near where we want it, but then we're not really near that. So if we were to think in terms of the final product, it's gonna be more like this again, right? What? Oh, for goodness sake. All right, let's go grab it again. We're moving it. Rotating it. I wanted to line up the height here as well. Can do that now because why not? I didn't want to do like 2 rows at once, but I guess we can. I was going to start off with just doing 1 at a time. I was going to like condense this contraption, but now that I've lined it up like this, it's sort of like, well, why not? Okay, so we want it at that height there, and then we want it to be in front of the note blocks. We'll leave a block, although I think in theory, if you wanted to, that would technically put it slightly closer to the player. Then you probably want it in the middle of this sequence, so we'll eyeball it. I think that looks kind of there, right? Now we will go and move the whole thing. With all of this. And just make sure it's inside our plot, basically. Somehow I missed the repeaters. I could have swore I middle clicked on those, because I knew they were above the block. Right. That's good stuff. Now. I'm actually looking at this and I'm feeling like I don't know if this can work or not. One thing we have to do, if we can get this clock to work, these like 4 ticks up here translates to 4 ticks over there. Absolutely brilliant. Like completely condense the information. But if we need additional space, like we have to do it every other, then we've condensed by half. Like if we had to put a lectern every 4 blocks, it would be utterly pointless. So this is like your moment of truth in a way. And I really got no idea if this will work or not. We're going to ignore the repeaters on the other side, by the way, because all they do is light up the bulbs to give you a sense of time. Well, some of those set to 3. They're all set to 4. Maybe I don't know if we need to ignore them or not. This might, yeah, these down here are going to need it as well, right? Actually, there's a better way of doing this. Poor old Xisuma clicking on every repeater. Could have used stack. Alex Chase, thank you ever so much for subscribing as well. Appreciate you coming in and supporting the channel. Thank you so much. How's the stream been so far? Really, really great actually. I really like all of what we've done so far. There's a bit of a moment of truth coming upon us now, I think. And it's like very close actually to being testable. So let's go ahead and reroute that over to here. And it will literally be ready to go, sort of, I think. Redstone, comparator. Comparator, redstone. And then you just repeat that, I think. Comparator, redstone. Comparator, redstone. Comparator, redstone. Hey, and it played some notes. So that is our new... Yeah, that's it. Okay. Now it's like, what happens when we activate this? Oh, I expected something to happen. Interesting. Like, it started, but then it stopped. Why is that one not on compare mode? Did I accidentally click that a moment ago? Right. That was peculiar. I feel like I might have missed something here. Like, surely there should be more... Oh, yeah, there should be more of that going on. Right. And then it stops. But, like, here you can see the signal is just dead. Is it because this is balanced incorrectly? Like... This should be sending a signal through. Maybe... No, this decodes all signal strength. So why did the signal stop coming through? Burnout? Burnout? No. Wait. Burnout on the torches is actually interesting. That might be possible if you spam it. That's actually something I forgot about. Yeah, that would happen, but no, that's not it. Why do we no longer have a signal here? That's what's weird. Like, why is there 0 signal strength? What have I missed here? For some reason, I thought those barrels were full. What's special about that one there? Like, that signal should go all the way through. Axiom copying funny. That's not a bad... That's not a bad premise right there. Unless it's these ones. Oh, actually, I know what the problem is. It just hit me. I know what the problem is. Okay, let's do this properly, right? We're gonna... yeah, no, that works. We got a big message with some cheers and biddies, which I will get to in just a second. I'm going to stay focused here for a moment, as I know what the issue is all of a sudden. Just hit me. I mean, at least I think I'm pretty sure I know what the issue is. And it's kind of obvious. I just, took me a minute to notice it. Alright. I'm going to bring a signal down here. That signal's going to go over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's not a problem. Right. Now this time... Well, we kind of need all of this down here to be reset. So we'll reset it. Also, I'm noticing, actually... This might not work because you have to wait for the piston at the top to retract, right? So maybe you need some additional delay, and then that might also stop it from working. Okay. Now we've got two activating at the same time. That's weird. Everything got pushed back up. Why did two get activated at the same time? It's the on and the off, isn't it? How do you get past that? Is that why it was on 3 ticks? Interesting. Huh. How would you circumvent that? You might have to do something with copper bulbs again. Probably going to do something with copper bulbs. Which, you know, massively complicates the contraption a little bit. The thing that I don't know is that if this 4 ticks translates to 4 ticks over there, like, I got a feeling it does. Let's... Okay, I think we can do this. I need a little bit of a brain break, I think, but I think we can do this. So I'm gonna switch to standing. I'm gonna start making a cup of tea. I'm gonna read this message. We've got Cole Mick here for 48 months. Thank you ever so much for your continued support, my dude. Appreciate you sticking around. We also got Heaven's Dragon here with some cheers and biddies. Hey X, a little sorry to say this here, but are you aware of the Minecraft Kellogg's collab? I am trying to raise a bit of awareness as the danger it poses. The demands of handing over your payment history, home address, Microsoft login to Kellogg's to redeem a cosmetic item in Minecraft, all while twisting parents' arms by advertising to kids. This could easily be a code in a cereal box to put Minecraft's website, but instead it's all handled through Kellogg's, who demands info. Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that to my attention, actually, because this is a topic I'm quite interested in, which is our collective data, which a lot of people tend to think, oh, someone wants my data. I don't care. I'm a good person. Have at it. What I don't think they don't understand is that there is immense value and power inside of your personal data, especially when it's collected en masse amongst large groups of people and then analyzed, often using like sophisticated AI models now. Like it was analyzed before the recent boom of AI, but I mean this is another really ambiguous term when we say AI, because I'm not sure if they're referring to large language models or maybe technology that they've always been using for ages. But basically, once companies start scooping up lots of information about lots of people, they gain insights into your psychological behavior, your behavioral patterns, all these things that then they leverage against you in the form often of advertising, but sometimes it can be a little more harmful. But all of this data that's being gathered often isn't being stored very securely as well. So once someone gathers it and it's in a database, it may end up in the hands of bad actors at some point. Heaven's Dragon says the Microsoft login payment history and home address is the really bad one on this. Yeah, so like you sign up to get your little Kellogg's thing, and now in a database you have your payment history, home address, and Microsoft login all on there, right? I mean, I don't know what to say is a solution to this stuff. I'm not sure what to propose, but like I'm aware it's a problem, and I believe that we need some like legislative action to kind of bring things up to speed on what's going, like how we're going to handle all of this stuff, you know. Recommendation systems that will give people the power to manipulate people. That might be one thing that they do. Yeah. Another one, for example, is you need car insurance, medical insurance, etc. Well, you know, let's just say you need car insurance, because data has been collected on people, including yourself, sometimes indirectly. They have very sophisticated systems of tracking people and identifying them. When you visit a car website to look up insurance, this is a thing in America. I'm not so sure if it's the same in the EU, but the price that you will see for your car insurance will be tailored to your particular habits or who you are as a person, right? Now, you might think, so what? But sometimes this can be, are you the sort of person that shops around and looks for a deal? Because if you're not, they'll put the price up higher. They'll have information on what you're used to paying for stuff. They know your credit history. They know all of this, right? They've got these, again, I said AI systems, but it's essentially like doing math from big spreadsheets and databases. It's calculating, based on all the statistical data it's got, how much money it can leverage out of you. So if you're the sort of person who's like super frugal, you spend ages shopping for the best deal, you ring people up, you talk to them, you get the price down, it's probably just going to give you a pretty low price. Whereas if you're the sort of person that picks the first thing they see every time and never seems to shop for an alternative and is happy to pay anything, then they jack up the price. Right, this is what we want. I've been staring at this for a second. We want that. Or do we? No, sorry. I've got it the wrong way around again. Well, this is what happens when you multitask. So, we want to power the piston. We'll do it via the block above, which would technically power... No, maybe we won't do it that way. Maybe we'll power it down here. So, we directly power the piston, not to power the one on the other side. That makes... No. This is all fine. This is all fine. What am I on about? That goes there, and then we shunt this over to here with its little... that thing on it, right? So now we'll take this modification that we've made, clone it all the way down. Then I have to get rid of these. I guess it doesn't clone the blank space. There's probably a way to get it to do that. I just don't know what it is. And then that thing would now have to come over to here, I think. Or maybe I can just do that. Okay. Not sure what I'm looking at there. It looks like... I don't know, it's a bit funky, but so far I think the signs are pretty good that this will work. I guess the problem is it leaves them down. I'm not sure if that... I think that will create a problem if signal strengths are indifferent. So we need to get the timing so that it comes straight back up again, I think. I've just realized this hasn't actually solved the problem we were trying to solve. We need like a single tick here, and we're not getting that. We're getting... Yeah, that didn't work at all. All right, I need thinky time. I need thinky time if we're going to figure this one out. Oh, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. We need basically one tick to go to the piston. I'm going to throw this up on the screen. Go check out my music if you haven't done so before. I'm also going to go boil the kettle and yeah, make myself another cup of tea, people. Okay then. Yo, what's going on? Powerballs, thank you for some gifted subs again, my dude, and Becca. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me, they were keeping you entertained. Thank you so much. Be sure to check back in the chat. See if you were gifted a sub. Appreciate the generosity. We got to line up a LPMT tour. Like, all these people could be joining the server and having a great time and meeting some new peeps. Wainbow, I know you're there. Are we able to sort one out? Oh, if I manually play ads during my tea break, then viewers won't get them at random time. Oh, that's a good idea, actually, yeah. So if I run the ads, apparently it starts in 2 minutes. Okay, well, I'm not done making my tea, so you're not going to miss anything if they start playing. Let's see. Some of you might be watching the ad now. Pancake, thank you so much for subscribing, by the way. I guess I'll read that again, because you might be seeing the ad. But no, you won't if you're subscribed, right? Because ads get... Oh, shut up, X. Go make your cup of tea. Okay, that should be a nicely brewed tea. Hopefully the ad finished playing. And Anonymous, thank you so much for more gifted subs as well. Apparently if I run 3-minute ads, people don't get ads when tuning in for like 30 minutes. Oh, okay. I don't know how to run a 3-minute ad. Dev, drop me a message if you know how. Like, Twitch is confusing. Sir Queedy Celesta, whose name I butchered earlier and I'm probably butchering again. Thank you for gifting a sub to Alex Andralix. I feel like I'm butchering that one too somehow. The hype train is rolling. Dang, we need to get those animations back. It's actually on my list. I think by like Monday or Tuesday I'll know if I'm gonna have time in the week to address that or not. I've had like a super busy few days, which has been interesting. Okay, so what we're trying to do is turn this from like we need to get a 1 tick out of this. And I don't know where you would put that, because the bulb and basically the bulb and the comparator aren't actually changing the state of the signal here. So if they can, what is the way in which they can? I'm not sure we can run like the bulb directly underneath the repeater and get like a different signal that way. Can't remember if they get powered like this. They do? No, that was because of that. Okay, they probably don't. Alright. Where are my redstoners at? I need some help. Ishan, thank you so much for 10 months. Super fast Feg, thank you for the prime. Appreciate you. Did I go see Operation Hail Mary? It's called Project Hail Mary. Yes, I saw it. It was one of the absolute best sci-fi movies I'd seen in a long time. I feel like every decade, 1 or 2 really good sci-fi movies comes along, like Interstellar or Inception or something. This one, I loved it so much. They did the book such good justice. I cannot recommend it enough. I think that's going to be one of the great movies of this decade. Make the input a T flip-flop. Yeah, but like, well, no. We don't want a T flip-flop. We want a single pulse every 4 ticks. Same level as Interstellar, high praise. Definitely up on that level. Definitely. Becca, thank you so much again for more gifted subs. Peeps, keep coming back to the chat and checking it out and seeing if you got one. I had so many gifted today. Thank you as always. The observers make that conversion? The observers don't. The observers fire twice. We need 1 tick from 4, not 2. Wait. Is it actually, I think I might have just wired it up incorrectly. I have a suspicion. Wait, what am I thinking? I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at, but I think I know what to do. Where's the stack tool? Like, what's the difference when we do that? Oh no, it's the same. Oh, dang it. How about an observer on a sticky piston? That would probably work. You're just adding more pistons, but there might not be another way, right? There might not be another way. Where are my brainiacs at? Could you put a piston... Dev, you can always log on if you want to. You could put a piston with a repeater and a observer on 4 ticks. And then you make it pulse going up and down. I can't quite visualize that. Lamp instead of bulbs. Do you do redstone? Oh, sorry. That really sounded like you're not a redstoner suggesting that. Oh, I feel like we might have the same problem because we're gonna get this is gonna get powered twice. I guess it's a case of is it a oh wait look this thing actually sort of lines up. It powered 3 times. Of course it would. Let's go ahead and do that. So that time it was like once, right? Let's get rid of all of this. We're pretty close now. I feel like once we get this into place, surely we're going to learn if this is going to work or not. I could always come back and redo this like bit here if ever I think of a better solution. Okay. Oh look, the timing of it getting pushed back up seems to be perfect as well. I didn't have to make any adjustment there. I'm really getting this feeling like this thing is doing what it's supposed to as well. Now, the way in which I think we correctly check it is to... do you know what? I might be able to stack this. Oops. the old one's just... out they go. Right. So the beginning of this beat should be the same thing over and over and over again. Oh wait, but that means the torch doesn't change. Oh well, there you go. After all of that, I find a flaw right at the very end. Great, that's it. The whole contraption doesn't work. You can't repeat the same section. Literally useless. Literally useless. Autumn, you can always pop on and stuff when we do redstone streams. Same for anyone who's whitelisted. You're always welcome on. That's kind of super lame that I didn't think about that sooner. That's sort of super lame. There is possibly some other thing you could do here, but honestly, like sometimes it is just like that, and that is okay. I always enjoy the process of redstone. If you get a little too hung up on the outcome, then you sort of flipped into a productivity mindset more than a learning one. Turn the whole input off in between beats, but that adds a tick, right? That adds a tick. Straight away though, like let's pretend for a second. Do you remember the old setup we had with the rail underneath instead of the observer? Like you could power that from both sides. So maybe there's some sort of system where you alternate left to right the inputs, but then, I mean, maybe you're redesigning all of this and doing something crazy there. Anyway, I think we should definitely just get a feel for this actually worked or not. I don't know, do that. Let's see. It sort of looks like it's working, but probably needs a bit more rigorous testing, if you know what I mean. Still going as well. Just pulse the inputs for 1 or 2 ticks and turn off all in between. I wanna take a closer look at it. Let's see if we see the same pattern each time. Oh wait, I'm not even looking. What is it? What does it go? It feels like it's doing something odd in the beginning. Do you know what? There is something we can do. Tick rate. Let's run it at like half pace. I want to see that again. I can't quite make out what it's doing, but it's going but it's supposed to be playing the same pattern over and over again, right? So like why would it find its way to playing a different pattern? So it's that row there. Oh, it's because it's going back to that in between. Oh, It's playing 2 then 3 notes when it's supposed to be playing 3 then 4. I think it might be because the blocks are directly next to each other. Like they need to be, because it's powering 2 at once. So there needs to be a block there, which means I need to move everything back by 1. Let's turn the tick rate up. So if I go and move here, even though we found a major flaw that ruins the whole thing, there's still other little things to be figured out about this contraption. All right, so all of that needs to go that way by 1, and then that can actually be that, and it's the same. And then we can actually just put some blocks here. Imagine, see, this is what I say about doing stuff in survival. Like, imagine you needed to do that in survival. Move your entire contraption over by 1 block. So it's playing 7 beats in a row, which is what it should be doing. And then it started playing something else. So it kind of did work, right? Like the concept worked. Just had a massive major flaw. How do we fix that flaw? I really don't know. Right, I'm gonna finalize this plot because I think I'm kind of done here. This was like the one idea I had. I didn't really have another approach to this just yet. I'm not sure if it was the original thing I was thinking of when I was talking to Mumbo, but like I had some vague idea of like using a decoder and stuff. Let's see what Chimera's up to over here. But yeah, so how do you get, like, if not using this decoder, how do you get it to know to do the same thing again? Do you know what? Possibly you have like a clock here that's an AND clock that's like, is this thing powered? And like my clock is just activated, send the signal across, right? Because then if it stays in the same position, and I like that this is like an intervention that fits into this space, you know? Should this be 4 ticks? Is that a couple of 4-tick clocks? That's what it looks like. Yeah, if you make some sort of AND gate here instead to send the signal through, that might work. So let's toy around with that idea a tiny bit. Let's clone here to there. Send it up. And we'll come back to this in a minute. I think we'll do the LPMT tour. I feel like a little bit of a brain break, but this might actually be a solution. Let's think about it, right? Like, we create an AND gate, and it runs every 4 ticks. I can't see what the problem there would be. It'd be a bit of like a tape, bit of, what do you call it? Duct tape in the middle of the thing. All right, it's time for the LPMT tour. Oh, it's rainbows. Okay. Let's get over there. So peeps, we have many gifted subs today. As part of your gifted subscription, you get access to the LPMT server for 33 days. You also get to join our Discord server. If you have a regular subscription or an Amazon Prime subscription, you can also get access. Join a part of this wonderful community. You know, see if you make any friends, see if you fit in. If not, no loss. So this is Rainbow Space. It's a research center. The base is split into 2 halves. One area has been taken over by something escaping the void. The other half is a research base. Today you are visiting the research side. It's very much a work in progress. Some of the builds are loosely based on real life locations such as the botanical gardens in Brussels and a museum in Madrid. Aha. So we're just visiting one side of it today, the research area. I wonder where the other side of it is then. Yo, these are some big buildings. I feel like I'm at a place. I feel like I'm visiting somewhere. And this very much feels like kind of like a museum-like building. Oh, they got samples of the void and the spore. I love a bit of lore in a base, right? To like bring the theme together. Oh, a little bit of an egg in a glass container. Love the details. Let's head on up. Rainbow's just chilling, just hanging out. Just relaxing. I better not click. Don't click. Look the other direction. Oh my god. There's some great blocks in here. Great block combos. Love the framing of the painting as well. Yeah, that's a really nice lighthouse as well. Not sure what that is, but there's an Xisuma turtle just chilling over there. I feel like I should... The path probably leads me somewhere proper. Is that the void over... Oh, jeez. Load in, world. Load in. Is this like the void stuff over here? Oh my goodness me. I feel right at home. This is awesome. Are they just like... I feel like they're supposed to hang from something. They just float in there. This is cool. There's jump boost in the area as well. Look at this. That's awesome. They just so tell you they're like little balloons. I feel like sometimes you just see something and it's so obvious, but like I think it's the leads. You need the leads there to really like sell you on the idea it's a balloon on a stick. Which is a thing. These are definitely void vibes over here. Wow. Then a very factory looking building. I think there's a chicken farm in here. Oh my god, how did I know? Go on, just psychic. I'm just psychic. Let's get back over to the research half of the base, though. That's where we're supposed to be. I want to see what's inside of those buildings back there. It looks like a museum. What do you mean it's written on the building? Shut up. What we got here? Some sort of moss bone meal farm thingy, majigger. It's always farms, isn't it? You go in a building and you find a bunch of farms. What type are these? The heck is this farming? Oh, is this one of those EFO storage things? Empty shulker. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a rosebush farm. That farm looked really unusual. Which is probably a good thing. It just means it's like a different design. There's all sorts of redstone stuff going on here, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. What is this? It doesn't look obvious to me. Those are like clocks, and then there's something going on behind there. Is there a hint? Oh, there you go. That's what it farms. Normally I see the farms and I understand straight away, but not today. Maybe I've just done too much redstone and my brain's rebelling. It's like, I'm going to tell you what that means. Oh, got a sheep farm. And then storage over here. Dang, that is a lot of storage. Got the task wall. So I think this is like a building just full of farms and stuff. Which is pretty awesome. Got some sheep people hanging out. Very colourful. This would be the other end of all those farms. Yeah, got the sheep over there and sugarcane. I see it. That is a floaty tree. I'm very disappointed. This unrealistic. That's not acceptable. Alright, let's check out this next build, the museum. This looks really cool. Dang it, it's empty! Oh, it still looks awesome. Let's check it out from the outside. Yeah, super cool. Rainbow knows how to build. Also, I like the use of the small font there. Whenever I do fonts, it's always got to be perfect. And like, letters like M take up too much like sideways space. But you can get it across in a suggestive way. It doesn't have to be perfect, as it shows you right there. Oh, I love the decorated pots on top of the build. I used that a little bit myself on Hermitcraft this season. It's a cool little trick. Is there or will there be a Bedrock server for LPMT? We used to have Bedrock access in the past. I don't know if there's plans to bring it back. But there are mods that let you play from Bedrock as well. More dyes. Everywhere we go, farms are just about colour and dyes. Oops. I'm sorry. Also, I'm setting off... Oh, dang it. I'm setting off all the skulk sensors. Heyo. Oh my god, what am I looking at? Shulker box loaders down the bottom. Where's the... What's with the dye farming, though? Where's it coming from? Is there like a what do you call it, like grass? Oh wait, I thought there was going to be something the other side of here. Am I just like all redstoned out today, or are these farms feel a little bit more cryptic than usual? That's what that's for. Interesting. So something sets that off and sends the item upwards. Then they must get collected and dropped back down again? Huh. Is that just for funsies? Where are these things coming from? Down here. I feel so clueless. If I weren't streaming and I had like a good chunk of time to sit and focus, I might figure out what these things are. But honestly, like, I ain't got a clue. I ain't got a clue what I'm looking at. It's awesome though, don't get me wrong. Why is it sending the items up there? And what's up with all these skulk things? Crazy build. Right, what else of the research area have we We haven't seen the lighthouse, and then we got this over here. Another redstone contraption that I just don't know what it is. I don't know what this is. Oh, the bit down here makes sense. Is this is a flower farm, and now the bit above makes sense because the items get pulled up onto here and the water pushes them over to the edge. That makes sense. Oh, look, now we see it in action. Oh, that's an interesting way of doing it. It might be a bit out of bone meal at the moment. That's cool. Yeah, I get how that one works. Then you got a second one over here that's the same. That's probably a positional thing, like you trying to collect different groups of flowers. So you put them in different spots in the world. That's cool. Yeah, that bit makes sense. All right, the museum was empty on the inside. Looks amazing from the outside, of course. And then we got ourselves a lighthouse, some amazing wheat fields with your scarecrows. I actually thought that bee was like an arm when I saw it from back here. I was like, it's got a little arm. Oh no, it's a bee. I guess it's got beehives on it, so it's like double up the functionality. Very cool. Let's pop in here. I'm not sure we got too much going on the inside. Yeah, maybe a work in progress. Pretty cool, though. Pretty cool building. I'm kind of curious as to what this thing down here is as well. I saw turtles! It's for converting zombies with potions into villagers. Or maybe part of some research project. That is a cool looking bridge. That is a cool looking bridge. Rainbow, thank you for letting us check out your base. I'd love to see the other half of it at some point. Very cool stuff. We've got to get back to the Redstone server now. Hope you all enjoyed that little tour. That's what we do. And again, if you have a subscription of any type here, you get access to the Let's Play Minecraft Together server. Maybe, you know, join, check out the community, and make some new friends and stuff. Who knows? Country Style 6827. Thank you for 7 months, by the way. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. I hope you're enjoying the stream. So, AND gates, right? AND gates typically work something like this. And then I guess the other half of the AND gate is our clock. Now we want it to be tileable, and this is a pain because if you want to use redstone, then the tileable thing kind of goes out the window. An alternative way to look at this is maybe the powered state of the block there as well. Like you flip it. So you might be using repeaters instead of those. It's hard to say. If you did, then maybe it's the block that turns off. Ah, we're getting somewhere now. So your clock on the opposite side is always on. Which we'll do with a torch. And then it will be about which... No, it won't be about which torch turns off. It, again, probably needs to translate to redstone dust. No. Oh, no, wait. It's... Oh, sorry. I'm missing a step. Every 4 ticks, that changes. Okay, so then that would go into the lamp. So it's fixable. Is it fixable in a nice way? Is there also a better way of looking at this? Am I being silly? Moon Bunny TTV, thank you so much for bringing your raiders, your audience over here. Welcome all the raiders. We're doing redstone on stream, which is always a recipe for disaster. What did Dev come up with over here after all? Is this for like... Okay, the fact that it's looping might be a problem. Because if you look over here, Dev, the whole thing runs off of a big clock like this. and it will just loop, and it will stop itself at the correct time and start. Like, the clock mechanism for controlling this is already figured out. I was just making a mock-up over here to test the concept, which we've done. That's why I just threw this thing on, just to see, like, what happens. So if we can put an AND gate into that space, we can make this work. It's about sort of not making it too big and getting the inputs and the outputs to the correct space. So I guess maybe you have a bulb there, or maybe it's like here. And then this is down by 1. So if this bit here is correct, by the way, if I've got the right idea, then how much space are we adding there? We've moved the output kind of up. Oh, maybe... Okay, now let's not think too much about it. Like, I guess I kind of need a mock-up of the output somewhere up there. Like, from the input. I can't help but think it would work. It just starts to get a little bit messy. You got this compactness here where the whole slice sits like one on top of the next. If your slice starts getting wonky, like it's higher here and it's lower there, it can still be stacked, but then it gets a little bit more awkward to assess and think about. What I'm kind of picking up on as I look at this is, like, it's very level there. Let's go ahead and put a block below that. How can we make this more level? I can see a couple of ways. But if we were to move this bit down, oh, what's the other side of that? Yeah, then you run out of space. Oh, do you know what? Haha. Okay, I started to think about using this block in a different position, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that works right where you are. Because now you got the same functionality, but you've just reduced it a space. Then we do that, and this, and put the bulb there, which it will get powered from that side, right? That is now a lot nicer to look at, isn't it? And in terms of, like, vertical space, we're not really shifting it around too much. The comparator would still be 1 block lower. I don't think we can do much about that. Like, you could raise this up by 1, the repeater here, but you can't really lower what you're looking at. Oh, but here's a problem. The repeater would back power the redstone there, so no, that doesn't work. You can use your existing input as an AND gate. Full power the input with your clock. You've given me an idea there, but oh, let's see. Like, this thing needs to, like, reread that every 4 ticks. But let's say we turned it on for 2 ticks at a time, it would still function the same way to this bulb. So are we talking about overriding this line of redstone every 2 ticks? That might work, and that might be utterly genius. Because that could be a really good solution, honestly. RS Mind says yes. Yeah, no, I've read your mind. Well, no, actually, you just put it in a message that I could understand. Yeah, honestly, that might work. So while this thing sends the same signal over and over again, we currently don't have that problem. So let's recreate the problem. Like, we want that over and over again. Can't I use the stack tool here? I think I can, but I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so our problem is that will break the machine because it's the same thing over and over again. So if we have, like, a pulse in sync, it'll keep bringing that up over and over again, won't it? Also, I have a feeling that an empty signal is the one before it. So let's go ahead and fire it up again. Yeah. So I think when we reach the empty signal, it goes back to there. Because none of this is mapped to how we would actually want it to work yet. So I thought the empty signal was going to be down here. So I'm what does that mean, though, if that's the empty signal? No, is it? Yeah, no, it must be. It actually, sorry, I'm not going to change too much because it might be related to how all this is set up. Like, once we've got the concept in, I need to better understand what's going on in order to configure this correctly. So let's not get caught up on that. That's potentially something else entirely. Although it does seem like it's what full signal strength does. Full signal strength does that. Yeah, no, it's related to this over here. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. It's just an interesting observation. Okay, so when this fires, when our clock is active, we might need to bring in the full clock to do this. So if you can detect when this is running and active, which might mean like that is on, then somewhere here you have a clock to pulse that. Do you know what, Dev? The clock that you made a moment ago, a while back, you had a 4-tick clock or something. We kind of need a 2 on 2 off over here. It should actually be pretty simple to wire up though. So the end result would be something pointing into there. And then we don't have much room to work with, but there is room, as you can see. So like something like this, I think. Gonna get some wires catched if we're not careful. The thing with what I've just done is that this also adds in a little bit of delay, and I'm not sure. This would also need to sync with the input here. Like I'm doing a quick mock-up, but it very much need to sync with that. So I'm not sure how many ticks that is we just created. Also, because I did these the wrong way around, it didn't actually do the thing I wanted it to. Oh, that's interesting. Wouldn't I have to get that to fire off perfectly? Like that! Like that! And then torch burnout. I was kind of hoping we could avoid torch burnout. We need it to turn on every 4 ticks, right? Oh, this one burns out as well. Huh. I would have thought 2 on 2 off. Maybe if I changed these to 2. No, this isn't going to work. Okay, so now we avoid burnout, right? But I think it's off for longer than it's on. Like, it should be able to go 2 on 2 off. But it's not. Like, if I change that to a 1, I have a feeling it will, but then this might be where we want to use observers for a clock. There you go. There you go. Oh, but it burns out. Can it not? Can a okay, big question for the people that know their redstone. Can a redstone torch go 2 on 2 off without burning out? Any on-off setup works as long as it's 4 ticks total. This would suggest not. Unless what we're hearing is actually 3 ticks and it's looped and 2 of these get sent at the same time. Visually, I don't know. Maybe that one powers when that one does. I don't think it does. I think it's cycling, so we've got it on 4 ticks. How do we get the torch not to burn out, right? What is torch burnout? It's an annoying feature where Do you know what? I think if they got rid of redstone torch burnouts, I think no one would complain. Maybe not the one where you got like the block directly over the top of it. Maybe not that one, but this is just an annoying limitation of the block. RS Mind. Oh, the copper bulb might become useless as a result of this. That's very true. However, like one thing at a time, we want this to work first. So like, how do we get that 2-tick thing not to happen? Is that one actually burning out? Nah, it makes the particle effect, it is. They just both burn out at the same time. You're looking up the mechanics right now, yeah. I got a horrible feeling it's not gonna work. I mean, okay, I kind of want to preserve this, right? So let's go ahead and put a lever on it so it's just not working right now. Except we don't. Where do we want the lever? Because I don't want that on. Oh, I guess I can just break it for now. I can do that. Okay. Here's another way to sort of do the same thing. We create a... That's not the way to do it. No, that's not either. That is... Yeah, there you go. Okay, so that, I think, is a 4-tick clock. And 1 tick isn't enough to change that. Okay, don't worry about it. Let's just turn that into 2 ticks. I think we've got the same problem again. You can't make it run on 2. Oh, what an absolute bummer. Okay, so we'd have to go back to the clock idea if that doesn't work. Because you have to run it on 2 ticks and that'll cause the torch to burn out. Oh, that's really lame, that is. It's really lame. So we have to go back towards this solution, I think. That's... I think what you're doing is you're doubling up. I see it. We're doubling up. Okay. Right, so... Okay, let me take a step back for those that want to learn. I'm not quite sure how it's done, but this is now running like half the speed, but we're taking twice the amount of outputs at a regular interval. The only thing is that output is now a 1-tick pulse. We need it to be a 2-tick pulse, and that torch is going to burn out. And if it doesn't, it's probably because this is actually not quite the right speed. Another way to test that is to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab our note block and just throw that on top. Actually, after a block between them. So you can hear there's a space in between now. What if we adjust this by 1 tick? And then it burns out once it's on the correct speed. So I think we've ruled out that that's not the way to do it, unfortunately. It's probably going to be the AND gate solution. If we can get this nice and working, which we probably can, it's going to need a clock. The redstone, though, won't burn out. So the clocks that we just built will probably serve the same function here. Unless that just means that this torch would burn out, right? Because if it's coming through every 2 ticks, it's the same problem again. So if you can't make an AND gate with a torch, and you can't make it with redstone dust because it's tiled side by side, what is the solution? Callie says it right there. Wait, the AND gate will burn out too. Okay, so now it's about creating an AND gate. I mean, maybe you do it with pistons. Maybe you do it with observers, like you observe a change in a block. Which might be a little more possible than you would suspect. Because let's say we use a note block. This is very visual. I'm gonna clone this again. I think sometimes it's a really good idea to keep leaving bits of redstone lying around like this, because you kind of leave the story of what you've been learning and discovering around, right? And then you might want to take a step back at some point and be like, wait a minute, that other idea, that was actually really good. So if we go ahead and put this here, and then put a line of redstone over the top of it, like that. When this turns off, only one of them changes. Yeah, well, not right now, because we need a bit more space here between the blocks. Let's go ahead and put those there, and then put some blocks. Okay. Right. The one that we want to change has changed. Yeah? And then that would go into the bulb. No. You might want this facing downwards. You might want it facing upwards. I'm not sure. Okay. That, in theory, doesn't burn out. The only thing then is the comparator. Nah, it's like now we've built a flip-flop. Wait, that's what we want. That's how this works. It flip-flops. Yeah. That might be it. Every 2 ticks, it does this. I'd have to think about that a little bit, actually, because... Oh, this might not be quite right, because it's both when this turns on and off, right? And then what if the state of one of them changes when it's off back here? Then you get another... Yeah, you get another thing. So the synchronization between the updates over here and this has to be, like, pretty precise. But I think this might be, like, we might be onto something now. Like, this might be the solution. Also, I reckon you can probably just run the redstone there. No. Then it back powers, so no. Maybe you can run it directly on top of the block itself, because it stops it making sound. And then you could have your observer here. Like, I'm thinking in terms of compactness as well. Oh, that came from over here. Oh, why are we using a rail now? Go on. I mean, that's the clock, right? But which one of the secret? So this is the tileable sequencer. These are the different bulbs. Okay, so that one's getting active, and it's getting activated on that clock. But now it's like, how does the rail factor in? I can kind of see if each of the rails are unique. Some of this is starting to feel like it's like overcomplicating. Like that, the redstone torch burnout thing is going to be an issue. The rails for power, you couldn't get the components to react to a single pulse, sadly. Okay. Well, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this might, right here, might work. It's just the fact that it, like, powers both on and off might cause an issue. Unless you're sending in a 1-tick pulse at the exact right time. Unless it's like that, so you're like... There you go. So every 4 ticks. Brilliant. Okay. And then... That's nice and level. So how is it set up again? The copper bulb is level with that. So We might be able to implement this solution, actually. We might be able to. Like that. I'm not going to go any further, though, because this is a problem with Redstone. Once we do this, we'll just find another problem, right? Okay, so here's what I want to do next. Because I think that might salvage the idea a little bit. This is where we leave ourselves notes for the future. So, clock for, what would we call it? Like sequential, repeated input. So that's a note to me, like that's got to be implemented to overcome that problem. What other problems did we discover while we were working on this? This bit here could be improved. So that's like a, what do we call it? Like a one tick from a sticky piston. So, like, could it be pistonless? That's something else we need to figure out. When it comes to doing the clock and the proper input for this, like, we didn't even touch on that, so we don't really have to worry about that. That's a new challenge when we get there. This going over to here was fine. We did notice that we need to really suss out which one of these corresponds to the input. So, properly... No, I don't need to put that word in. Understand... and, whoops, configure input array to lectern inputs. So what I'm saying is I need to properly understand how this all tracks to the different pages of a lectern, which will eventually go around here where the item frames are. We never hooked up a clock here. So, like, every 4 ticks, you want a copper bulb to get powered. So that's like a bit of a weird challenge, I guess. 4 tick bulb activator. So, like, every 4th tick, a bulb needs to be changed so you can see where along in the sequence you are. But then we take something like this and we've multiplied it by 4. And we're even going to be able to put the visual information of the beat you're creating onto the lectern. So this is going to be one like absolute top-notch level beat creator. I'll leave a note about the clocks here, although do you know what? I won't, because they're not really relevant anymore. Let's get rid of this. This is leftover stuff we don't need. Chat, can you remind me of anything I've forgotten about? Anything we discovered on our adventure? Yeah, that's a valid note to leave to reduce the amount of comparators there. I'm not sure there are any other flaws that we've left. X, replace the torches in front of the bulbs with repeaters. Replace the torches in front of the bulbs with repeaters. And power the whole redstone line off every 4 ticks. Trust me. Oh, I think I see what you're saying. Like repeater goes through to the bulb, which didn't that change its behavior, and then we turn it off every... Callie, you got access to the server. If you want to come on here and copy this bit and like implement it, feel free to do so. Always copy a contraption though, don't modify it. But I think I know what you're saying. It's like if we modulate the input here to be off every so often. And off is fine because off was going to be like no notes played. So if when you turn it back on, you have off, I think that's not a problem. Yeah. Okay, so you're saying add a clock here to turn this line off and then use repeaters on the other side. The only thing I would say is that repeaters, didn't they interact with the bulb in a way that meant we didn't get the desired output? But because we're now going to use a clock so that we only turn on the redstone every like 1 tick or something, it should overcome that. I think I know what you're getting at. Do you even have Minecraft downloaded? I would assume... I just assume that everyone watching has access to the game. I mean, yeah. I guess maybe you don't have it. Repeaters don't burn out, yeah. You see, when you understand a contraption and all the different steps that lead from the input to the output, like, you can get like bogged down in like trying to solve a solution and adding like some big complicated thing over here, but like you go further back in the line and it's like, oh, actually, if we modify the behavior of the thing before it, it'll do what we want. And that solution makes sense, and I am looking forward to engineering that, because with that in place, I kind of feel like that's it. Chat, one more time. Was there any other things we discovered that I need to leave a note for? I really feel like I've left all the notes I can for future Xisuma to work with. Yeah, the repeaters mean the beat plays when the change is off the selected input, but since we change inputs at a steady rate, that doesn't matter, yeah. Okay, I think... I have a feeling there was maybe one other thing, but... yeah, maybe there wasn't, so we'll leave it there. Alright, I'm going to wrap up my stream here. And peeps, I might just publish that episode of Hermitcraft tomorrow instead of Tuesday. So you can hear my music a little bit sooner, but we'll see how it goes. If you want to go check out my artist music name thing, Soulside Eclipse, go check it out. Otherwise, we'll do a raid. I'm just looking for someone to stream, throwing it up while we figure it out. Hope you all enjoyed the Redstone. Joe Hills is streaming. I'll send you over to Joe today. He's playing some MCCI. Alright, let's get that raid going. Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. And I'll be streaming again Tuesday evening, if all goes to plan. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for your amazing support. See you again Tuesday, hopefully. Bye-bye.